marcher, pas à camper, pas à marcher, pas à agiter. Ma vie calculée, voilà il a dominé. Tellement calculé, moi pas à marcher, des pieds m'embêter. Voilà il a dominé. Tellement calculé, moi pas à marcher, des pieds m'embêter. Voilà il a dominé. Messieurs, dames, la société, bonsoir. Regardez-nous, messieurs. Si nous go, go. Si vous go. Malva nous conseille, messieurs. Malva nous conseille, n'a pas de conseils là. Sous marié ou tout marié, si vous pouvez marier, pas bon conseil, wap papa. Et bien c'est un camarade qui m'a avec un petit petit, qui l'âge au moins petit la guerre, 17 ans, 17 ans. Mais les beaux petits là rendent chez service, c'est toujours les soirs. À 7 heures, à 8 heures, à 9 heures, à 10 heures, 11 heures, jusqu'à minuit. Même si c'est nécessaire.
Bien sûr, créole.
Mambouye, Pese café, oh. Encore maman m'voye. Pese café, oh. En arrivant, moi sous portail là. Un gendarme arrêté moi. Mes amis en moi. Ça m'a dit la caille. Les m'arriver. Mes amis. Ça m'a dit la caille. Les m'arriver. Okay, now we're gonna sing the song. Asiniye. On est oh la maison. On est oh la maison. Si c'est grand monde qui l'a rentré. Si c'est grand monde qui l'a rentré. Si c'est petit monde qui l'a m'a viré d'omalé. On est oh la maison. On est oh la maison. Si c'est grand monde qui l'a rentré. Si c'est petit monde qui l'a m'a viré d'omalé. Agoci mandé passage dans la coussa. Si mon grand monde qui l'a si allez pour yo.
Qui ça n'a fait pour payer?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Talking Drum. Welcome to the Talking Drum, a show that celebrates the beauty and majesty of African people and their culture. Remember, when we talk about African people, we're talking about Haitian people, Jamaican, Trinidadian, because we are beautiful people in the rainbow. You know, it's like with the rainbow people. All these beautiful colors. Once again, I am Alyssa. Naomi Innocent is here with us, and I'm Roland Innocent, the dynamic duo. As always, I want to say good evening. I want to welcome you on the Talking Drum. It's a beautiful thing to be here with you today, celebrating African culture. Listen, today is Friday, and as you know, every Friday from 6 to 8, we are here to manifest this beautiful culture that we have here. I want to say hello to every single one of you who's always listening on the Talking Drum, every single one of you who's very loyal to us, right? Ever since we started the show, you've been with us every Friday from 6 to 8. Remember, this show you can watch it live on www.radiotelecreole.com. You can also go on YouTube and watch it. And also, this show I always post it via the internet on Facebook, so you can watch the show. Remember, my Facebook account is agoci art. God bless you, Alisa.
Thank you.
Agoci art on Facebook, right? Look at you, Alisa, dancing. Look. Yes, it's Agoci Art on Facebook, AGOCI, Agoci Art on Facebook, where you can watch that show. All right, now, every single one of you who's live with us on the internet, I want to salute you in the name of the great architect. M'a salué tout auditeur nou yo, tout captain de show ça, c'est Parole Tambou. Un show sous culture haïtien, un show qui montre beauté peuple haïtien avec majesté peuple haïtien. Donc, dans show ça, nous connaissons, non, moi c'est Roland Innocent, c'est moi-même qui host là, avec Alessa Naomi Innocent. Alessa Naomi Innocent, c'est petite fille, moi qui, non, John J. College, je pense ça, Alessa.
Yes.
John J. Ok, la petite dit criminal justice. Nah, she wants to do psychology.
Hello.
Hello, you doing? Mais Alessa, parlez-moi de vous-même. Qui sont fait, qui sont appétit toute bagarre, allez.
You guys should already know this. But I go to John Jay. I study forensic psychology. I'm studying forensic psychology.
Okay. Well, listen, Alyssa, what do we have on the program today? What are we doing? What's going on?
All right, so we're going to be talking about the Moors.
Okay, well then talk to the whole day. They're listening to you, Alyssa. Like, make
All
it
right,
happen. Once again, remember the Moors have done a lot for us on this planet. They have contributed a lot to the world. Donc, they have done a lot. So, Alyssa wants to share with you some of these contributions. And once again, remember, I want to say hello to every single one of you who are watching us. My brothers are from Golgotha, and my family from PS 189. I know a lot of you are watching or listening today. So I have a big family. Agoci is a big family. I want to say thank you for every one of you who are tuning in. By the way, brother Hilas, I want to give a big shout out to you because you just have a beautiful baby. A beautiful baby boy. So congratulations, eh? Alyssa, listen, is it when they have a baby boy or the baby girl that they smoke the cigar? Which one? Baby boy or baby girl? Well, you don't know?
I don't know.
It's a boy, right? Okay, so yeah, it's usually someone here at the radio told me it's a boy. It's funny because I remember when Alyssa was born and I came out, I was like, yo, and I was extremely excited because I have my girl is born, and then these people were telling me, listen, what do you must have had a boy, but no, I told them, no, man, I have a beautiful little I have a beautiful girl. Because what's happening in my family, the boys are very distant, and me, I love affection. I love hugs and kisses. So I always wanted a girl first. So, I said first because that's all I have. My wife don't want to give me any more. All right, listen, Alyssa, let's start the show. We're going to talk about the Moors, the contribution the Moors have given to this planet that we're living in. The contribution the Moors have given to the world. So, Alyssa, are you ready for us? Let's go.
Yeah, so Moor has different interpretations, like what the term Moor means. So a lot of people think that means black people, but there's really a lot of discrepancies when it comes to what ethnicity the Moors were. So the the word Moor is derived from the Latin word Moris, and it was a term usually to describe Berbers and other people from the ancient Roman province of Mauritania, and that's now North Africa. Over time, it was increasingly applied to Muslims living in Europe and beginning in the Renaissance. Moor and blackamoor were also used to describe any person with dark skin. And there's other reports that say Moor was a general term Europeans used to label Muslims during the European Renaissance, usually Muslims of darker skin color. Europeans described Moors as being swarthy and tawny in regards to their skin color, and Muslims who were not black were named white Moors. Okay, so basically they're black.
Okay.
So in AD 711, a group of North African Muslims led by the Berber general Tariq ibn Ziyad captured the Iberian Peninsula, which is modern Spain and Portugal. They see me here.
Okay, Alyssa, if they're watching you, they have to see you, man. They have to see your
They
beautiful
see
face.
me.
And plus
My
you have-
beautiful face?
Yeah, because you have this hair, this beautiful hair. You know, I want people to see that hair and that display. You know what I mean? Okay, let's go, Alyssa.
And the Iberian Peninsula is modern Spain and Portugal, and it's known as Al-Andalus, and the territory became a prosperous cultural and economic center where education and the arts and sciences flourished. Over time, the strength of the Muslim state diminished, increasing inroads for Christians who resented Moorish rule. For centuries, Christian groups challenged Muslim territorial dominance in Al-Andalus and slowly expanded their territory, and this culminated in 1492 when Catholic monarchs Ferdinand II and Isabella I won the Grenada War and completed Spain's conquest of the Iberian Peninsula. Eventually, the Moors were expelled from. So one of the most famous mentions of Moors was Othello from Shakespeare's play The Tragedy of Othello, the Moor of Venice. His titular character was a Moor who served as a general in the Venetian army. In Shakespeare's time, the port city of Venice was ethnically diverse, and the Moors represented a growing interchange between Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and Africa. And despite his military prowess, Othello is also portrayed as exotic, hypersexual, and untrustworthy, and he was described as a lascivious Moor who secretly marries a white woman, reflecting historic stereotypes of black people. Most recently, the term has been coopted by the sovereign citizen movement in the United States. So I think.
So, Alyssa, if somebody was to ask you plainly, basically, what were the Moors, and where are they from?
So the Moors is used to describe anybody that was of African descent at that time, and it was to describe Muslims. Muslims. What I understand is to describe Muslims, and it's to describe people of a certain area. So the area, Northern Africa. So it was to describe people from Mauritania, part of Northern Africa, and like I said earlier when I started, there's different reports on like what a Moor is. People say that Moors are just people to describe somebody who was black at that time, and other people say it was to describe Muslim people that came from that area.
Okay.
Because they were white Moors as well.
Okay, please go on.
But most of them are black.
Yeah. We want to know what is so special about the Moors. What have they done?
Okay, so the Spanish occupation by the Moors began in 711 AD under Tariq ibn Ziyad, and The Moors introduced new scientific techniques to Europe, such as astrolabe, a device for measuring the position of the stars and planets. Scientific progress in astronomy, chemistry, physics, mathematics, geography, and philosophy flourished in Moorish Spain. Cordoba, the heart of Moorish territory in Spain, was the most modern city in Europe. The streets were well paved with raised sidewalks for pedestrians, and during the night, 10 miles of streets were well illuminated by lamps and had 900 public baths. And they said, we are told that a poor Moor would go without bread rather than soap. So they actually, I'm gonna get into this later. They actually brought hygiene tips to Spain at that time. They actually brought civilization, and during the Dark Ages, that's what they call the Dark Ages. The Great Mosque of Cordoba is one of the architectural wonders of the world, in spite of later Spanish disfigurements. Education was universal in Moorish Spain, and it was available to all, while in Christian Europe, 99% of the population were illiterate, and even kings could neither read nor write. In the 10th and 11th centuries, public libraries in Europe were non-existent, while the Moorish Spain could boast of more than 70, which was the one in Cordoba hosted 600,000 manuscripts. The most significant Moorish musician was known as Ziryab, who arrived in Spain in 822 AD. And the Moors introduced the earliest versions of several instruments, including the lute or elud, the guitar or kithara, and the lyre. Ziryab also changed the style of eating by breaking meals into separate courses, beginning with soup and ending with desserts. The Moors introduced paper to Europe and Arabic numerals, which replaced the Roman system. They introduced many new crops, including the orange, lemon, peach, apricot, fig, sugarcane, dates, ginger, and pomegranate, as well as material like saffron, cotton, silk, and rice, which remains some of Spain's main products today. It was through Africa that the new knowledge of China, India, and Arabia reached Europe. The Moors brought the compass from China into Europe. The Moors ruled and occupied Libsam, which was called Lajbuna by the Moors, and the rest of the country until the 12th century, and they were finally defeated and driven out by the forces of King Alfonso Henriques. And the scene of this battle was the Castello de San George, or the Castle of St. George.
Ok, eh ben bon, Jean allait ça expliquer nous comme nous t'attendait, je dis à là nous a parlé de Morzio, avait dit que groupe moun sa yo qui te font paquet de travail dans monde ça, qui travaille en Morzio te fait, nous déjà connaît dans époque ça yo, c'était groupe moun sa yo qui était musulman et qui était africain. Donc qui te font paquet de travail dans l'éducation, dans la musique, donc moun sa yo introduit en pile bagaille en Europe. Donc, l'année a parlé de nous-mêmes. Raison ça qui fait n'a parlé de Morzio, c'est parce que nous-mêmes, nous noirs, toujours fait nous connaître que histoire nous commençait avec esclavage. Donc, c'est une raison qui fait, je dis à la nous venir là pour nous parler que histoire ça pas vrai. Donc, depuis avant esclavage, nous avons un paquet de travail que Kemet a fait en Kemet et un paquet de travail Morzio a fait dans l'éducation, dans la mathématique, dans la musique et même dans l'éducation que tu as fait en Europe parce que tu es occupé Spain, pas ça? Allez ça.
Yes.
Donc tu es même c'est eux même qui montre européens yo prend yo lieu qui gens yo pour yo baigner et tout bagaille ça yo. Donc on nous parler plus ça ça.
Okay, so the term Moor has also been used in Europe as a derogatory sense to refer to Muslim people in general, especially those of Arab or Berber descent, whether living in Spain or North Africa. In the Philippines, the long-standing Muslim community, which predates the arrival of the Spanish, now I self-identifies as the Moro people, an exonym introduced by French colonizers due to their Muslim faith. Um, there's now we're gonna talk about different Moors that did things. So
Okay.
there's a Moor named Averroes. He was a polymath, and he was the founder of the Averroism school of philosophy and influential in the rise of secular thought in Western Europe. Um, Abd Rahman, founder of the Umayyad Emirate of Cordoba in 756, along with succeeding Caliphate of Cordoba. The dynasty ruled Islamic Iberia for 3 centuries. Ibn al these names. Ibn al Qutiyya, Andalusian historian and grammarian. Yahya al-Laifi, Andalusian scholar who introduced the Maliki school of jurisprudence in Al-Andalus. Abbas ibn Firnas, Berber inventor, poet, and scientist in the Emirate of Cordoba. Maslama al-Majridi, an Andalusian writer, began to believed to be the author of the Encyclopedia of the Brethren of Purity and the Picatrix. Said al-Andalusi, Andalusian Qadi historian, philosopher, mathematician, and astronomer. And there's more, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Artefius, a writer to whom a number of alchemical texts are ascribed. Ibn Zur, Andalusian philosopher and polymath who discovered the existence of parasites and pioneered experimental surgery.
So Alyssa, if so that right now you're giving us a list of all the greatness of all the things that the Moors have done.
Oh, I'm telling you a whole
Okay.
bunch of Moors that
Have done
did
greatness.
influential stuff.
Influential stuff. Ok. Alright. Eh ben, bon, comme nous sommes tendés, moi, yo, gon paquet de bagages que yo fait, était non seulement développer l'éducation, en même temps tout, gon paquet de travail fait dans l'architecture avec du bâti gros, c'est de grands buildings, grands architectes, donc nous étions vraiment très avancés dans l'époque ça. Alessa, qui l'a parlé d'un time frame de une période à une période qui les bagages ça a été commencé moi yo qui les été the invasion of Europe you talked about.
They captured the Iberian Peninsula, modern Spain and Portugal, in AD 711.
Okay. Okay, mais Alessa, nous allons non plus là.
All right, so we often hear about Africans teaching Europeans how to bathe and the other hygienic rituals required in order to build a healthy society. Abu Hassan Ibn Nafi, also known as Ziryab, was born in modern-day Iran circa 789 CE to a freed Ethiopian slave. His nickname Ziryab means blackbird and was given to him in reference to his dark complexion and stunning singing voice. He is known as the innovator of those hygienic practices such as bathing, shaving, and the use of toothpaste, perfumes, fragrant oils, and deodorant. Moor was a term Europeans used to describe indigenous Africans, and while many people may have heard of the term, Ziryab is not a name circulated in Western history, and not many people understand the weight of his influence. During the 10th century, these weren't African leaders' only contributions to European society. Ziryab expanded Europeans' diet with a variety of new crops, including hard wheat, sugar, orange, lemon, peach, apricot, fig, sugar cane, dates, ginger, pomegranate, saffron, and rice. Instituting these new crops in the region required the Moors intimate knowledge of irrigation and cultivation. They also taught Europeans how to properly store spices for up to 100 years, including, in addition to establishing new hygiene practices. Ziriab also founded a music school, and he was also considered a fashion icon. Clothes became more than just modern coverings for the body, and he used clothes as a form of adornment. He had a unique way that he would change his clothes according to the seasons and weather, and even went as far as having different outfits throughout the day. London had a largely illiterate population, and they had unpaved streets and no technological advancement. The Moors advanced greatly in the hydraulic engineering. During the 10th century, the Moors had paved roads, street lighting, running water, hundreds of public baths, mosques, and well-stocked libraries because paper was needed in order to create documents to transfer knowledge. The Moors also brought paper making to Spain. The Moors, and under Moorish conquest, the first paper mill is recorded at Sativa in 1151. Along with this, over 4,000 Arabic words and derived phrases were absorbed into the Spanish language. Spanish use of the words like algebra, alcohol, chemistry, nadir, alkaline, cipher, checkmate, influenza, typhoon, orange, and cable can be traced back to the Moors. The Moors mastered several methods of survival that vastly contributed to European society from the 10th century to the 12th century. The Moors introduced multiple new scientific techniques to Europe in astronomy, chemistry, physics, mathematics, geography, and philosophy. And while conquest came as a result of
Mettez
war,
ça là, on est capable de figure. Oh, I va changer.
what this?
Non, le téléphone ne va pas l'eau. Souvent, le
Yes,
téléphone.
it can't move anymore. The cord is short. The Moors, the people flourished in Moorish Spain with paved roads, universal education, and efficient hospitals. And they transferred several methods and techniques of their high functioning society to Europeans. Yeah.
Ok, eh ben, jodi a la, comme moi dit nous déjà, on a parlé de Morgio, contribution Morgio avec Monsa, donc nous-mêmes là, qui toujours aimait apprendre bon bain dans la toilette, qui toujours mettre bon parfum, belle rade sur nous, tout bagage ça yo, donc tout bagage ça yo, c'est des séries de bagages qui étaient développés avec Morgio, donc ou gen un Morge qui était les Ziriab. Donc nous connaissons Ziriab lui-même, c'est pas ton n'importe monde que le t'es, c'est ton garçon qui t'est fait, qui t'est vraiment contribué en pile dans sa l'hygiène, donc il finit avec des séries de savon pour propter corps, on prend une fait européen, vous comprendre que l'importance de ça le propreté, l'importance de ça le habiller gens supposé habiller, donc chaque saison on prend gain une façon pour habiller et toute bagaille ça c'est avec moi je t'ai venu donc contribution avec éducation et toute l'autre bagaille. Donc jodi a là nous gain en pile pour nous respect pour Morgio, donc là on a parlé de Morse, on a parlé de 711 ans Eddie, donc c'est pas jodi a, c'est bagaille qui fait longtemps. Donc d'essayer de bagaille que n'a joué jodi a connaît, c'est pas jodi a nous joindre yo fait yo là depuis avant ça, c'est noir qui t'est commencé bagaille ça yo, c'est invention noir yo. Donc m'a allez ça m'a prend une minute pour de recueillement pour me capable saluer d'essayer de monde capable attendre show d'essayer de monde qui toujours attendez nous depuis nous brancher. N'a pas saluer tout monde qui attendait nous dans Golgotha, tout mon frère Golgotha qui attendait, n'a pas saluer tout frère nous PS 189. There's a lot of people watching the show from different places. There are people in Miami watching, everywhere watching. By the way, today I'm going to play an interview that I had with Dan Semil. This interview is extremely important because Dan Semil is a musician, composer, arranger. He is one of our living legend. I mean, sometimes we talk about living legend, and when we're talking about also the Moors and the contribution that they have done and to music and to the world, so there are a lot of great legends that we also have living and who are also part of our community. Dance Emile is one of those legends, living legend in the community. These gentlemen have contributed a lot into Haitian music, a lot into music. He also has his son who's right now in Hollywood making music for Janet Jackson, for all the stars are out there, all the musicians out there. He has contributed a lot into music. If you've heard of Yannick Etienne, I can see that Yannick is watching right now. Dance has contributed a lot to Yannick Etienne's music, and as you know, Yannick Etienne is one of our great singers who's still living and has contributed a lot into Haitian culture, to elevate Haitian culture. I want to say hello to every single one of you who have donated in the GoFundMe. Like I told you last time, the GoFundMe is our way of helping the community. Every year, Agoci has performances, and we do at least 2-3 performances every year. And the money that we get in those performances, the incomes, the benefits, okay, goes toward those children. It goes back into the community, and the money is invested back in the community. And we give 10 scholarships every year to children of low-income families to study dance and music. This year, because of the coronavirus, we were not able to continue the program, the scholarship program, so we were not able to raise that fund, and that's why we are doing the GoFundMe, so that starting in September, so that we can give the scholarship that we normally give to those children in Brooklyn. Now, our studio is in Brooklyn. Those of you, if you want to study dance or music, you can call us or send us an email. Our phone number is 347-600-6389, 347-600-6389. We still have classes online. We have classes online every Saturday and Friday, and we also have, we're going to be open in September, where we're going to have our classes the way we normally do it, with proper precaution, of course. So those of you who did support the GoFundMe, I want to give a shout out to Marie Walker. Marie, how you doing? Alana, how you doing? I want to give the whole shout out to the family for supporting and putting a whole lot of energy and help with the fundraiser for these beautiful children who want to study music and dance but cannot afford it. They are of low income family. So today whenever we meet here at Agoci or on the Talking Drum, we are here to educate the community and to bring information here that will help you, that will uplift you. That's what we are doing here at Agoci. And that's why today we are here and we're talking about the Moors, the contribution of the Moors, what they have done to what they've contributed to the world. So c'est une raison qui fait que je dis là nous venons là pour nous parler de Moors parce que il y a des séries de travail qui extrêmement important dans la communauté ça et nous gagnons des monde qui fait travail ça yo. Agoci c'est une nan monde ça yo parce que chaque année nous bail 10 scholarship. Nous bail 10 petits monde scholarship, donc scholarship sur côté nous joindre comme ça yo, c'est là nous performer, nous prend une portion comme ça, nous investir back dans communauté. Comme on a dit nous avec coronavirus là nous pas de faire performance nous yo, donc c'est ça qui fait nous faire GoFundMe. Donc ma bat bravo pour tout le monde qui supporte GoFundMe déjà. Si vous pas supporter GoFundMe s'il vous plaît, allez supporter GoFundMe, allez dans Agoci Art dans Facebook, Agoci Art AGOCI. Allez buy un petit $20, buy un $30 ou bien whatever sont capable. Donc, allez supporter GoFundMe. Hein. Donc, c'est moyen pas nous pour nous continuer le travail là. Donc, depuis où est que agoci paraît, c'est son travail communauté n'a fait pour nous faire respecter tête, respecter culture et respecter les ancêtres. Tant que mort aujourd'hui on a parlé qui contribue en pile avec le monde et moun sa yo c'était africain oteye, c'est musulman que oteye, c'est moun qui était vraiment font travail sous terre ça dans monde ça. Pas ça ça. OK, n'a pris une petite pause n'a tourner tout à l'heure.
Asiniye, asiniko, asiniye, asiniko, asiniye, asiniko, asiniye, asiniko. On est oh la maison On est oh la maison si c'est grand monde qui l'a rentré. Si c'est grand monde qui l'a rentré, si c'est petit monde qui l'a m'a viré d'omalé. Passage dans la coussa, si mon grand monde qui là, si allez pour yo.
Qui ça n'a fait pour payer? Qui ça n'a fait pour payer? Si nous pas payer, nous casser pour l'obliger, mais code sous yo.
Mettez code.
Si nous pas payer, nous casser pour l'obliger, mais code sous yo. Qui ça n'a fait pour payer? Qui ça n'a fait pour payer? Si nous pas payer, nous casser pour l'obliger.
Est-ce qu'on connaît l'abréviation HOPE signifie Haitian American United for Progress? Pour vivre plus bien dans la cour New York, côté fait débarquer ou soit son vieux, ou besoin de deux bagages ça yo. Bonne volonté et puis centre communautaire HOPE. Dirigeant la ville ou bien l'État New York fait confiance. Et puis, yo cassé mettez dans mail moyen pour l'offrir en pile service. Dans moment délivrance tout parents, c'est joindre pour petit yo after school programme à Universal Pre-K. Hop, là pour ça, et il y a même formation à protection contre violence domestique, étalage service que centre communautaire Hop vient pour l'offrir m'baka chez Dieu yo en pile, mais yo pas besoin trop loup pour épaule li. La vérité c'est que mission Hope Haitian American United for Progress, c'est démêler le coup mettre Jean-Jacques tout en temps pour correr communauté. Alors c'est important pour visiter Hope quand même dans une de adresse Lio 197-17 Hillside Avenue Queens ou bien dans Brooklyn 1760 Nostrand Avenue. Téléphone 718 233 11 87 718 527 37 76.
Dans le pays ici, dans tout domaine, c'est expert qui fait la différence. Souvent parler des différentes facettes des arts culinaires, sans gratter tête m'a dit Yannick, the great chef out of cooking and baking school. Yannick design cook cuisine avec pâtisserie personnalisée, dépendamment de disponibilité intéressée. Si vous avez gradué, marié ou sinon vous avez fêté anniversaire, remettre toute bagaille dans Yannick, the great chef, et puis ou même à tout invité capable d'installer nous confortablement pour une expérience unique. Zamim, si vous avez l'idée de prendre classe cuisine, pâtisserie ou sinon ou besoin d'un professionnel dans les affaires catering, les seuls experts nous gagnent dans la communauté, Yannick, the great chef out of cooking and baking school, dans 516 581 27 17. Adresse là c'est 2281 Baylis Avenue, Elmont. Ou songez téléphone non 516 581 27 17. Now you go make things happen.
Contrary to conventional wisdom, it was ancient Africans that brought civilization to Spain and large parts of Europe and not the other way around. The first civilization of Europe was established on the Greek island of Crete in 1700 BC, and the Greeks were primarily civilized by the black Africans of the Nile Valley. The Greeks then passed on this acquired culture to the Romans, who ultimately lost it, thus initiating the Dark Ages that lasted for 5 centuries. Civilization was once again reintroduced to Europe when another group of black Africans, the Moors, brought the Dark Ages to an end. When history is told in the West, the period called the Middle Ages is generally referred to as the Dark Ages, as depicted in as the period during which civilization in general, including the arts and sciences, laid somewhat idle. This was certainly true for Europeans, but not for Africans. Renowned historian Sheikh Anta Diop. By the way, I read some of his stuff in Miss Angeline Butler class. Sheikh Anta Diop explained how during the Middle Ages, the great empires of the world were black empires, and the education and cultural centers of the world were predominantly African. Moreover, during that period, it was the Europeans who were the lawless barbarian. Ooh. After the collapse of the Roman Empire, multitudes of white warring tribes of the Roman the white warring tribes from the Caucasus were pushed into Western Europe by the invading Huns. The Moors invaded Spanish shores in 711 AD, and African Muslims literally civilized the wild white tribes from the Caucasus. The Moors eventually ruled over Spain, Portugal, North Africa, and southern France for over 700 years. Although generations of Spanish rulers have tried to expunge this area from the historical record, recent archaeology and scholarship now sheds new light on how Moorish advances in mathematics, astronomy, art, and philosophy helped propel Europe out of the Dark Ages and into the Renaissance. One of the most famous British historians, Basil Davidson, noted that during the 8th century there was no land more admired by its neighbors or more comfortable to live in than a rich African civilization which took shape in Spain. The Moors were unquestionably black, and the 17th century English playwright William Shakespeare used the word Moor as a synonym for African. I said earlier, 99% of the population were illiterate in Europe. Neither kings could read nor write, and the more scientific curiosity extended to flight and polymath. Ibn Fairness made the world's first scientific attempt to fly in a controlled manner in 1875 AD. Historical archives suggest that his attempt worked, but his landing was somewhat less successful. Africans took to the sky some 6 centuries before the Italian Leonardo da Vinci developed a hand glider. Clearly, the Moors helped to lift the general European populace of the Dark Ages and paved the way for the Renaissance period. In fact, a large number of the traits on which modern Europe prides itself came to it from Muslim Spain, namely free trade, diplomacy, open borders, etiquette, advanced seafaring, research methods, and key advances in chemistry. Yeah.
Ok. Bon, paquet information. N'a parlé de Morgio, contribution yo avec humanité, toute belle bagarre que moun sa yo te fait. Donc, les nous toujours fait nous connaître, nous mêmes africains, que éducation pas nous, ou bien histoire pas nous commencer avec esclaves. Donc, c'est na agoci, na parole tambou. Nous voulons pour qu'on ait bien que ça c'est menti. Donc africain yo c'est yo même qui viennent avec civilisation en Europe, c'est pas européen qui porter le bas nous. OK, c'est nous mêmes qui porter le bas yo, comprendre depuis 700 BC. Donc on a fait travail, on prend n'a pas mettre civilisation, première civilisation, on prend camper. Donc moi je même entré porter bon travail, éducation, montrer moun ki jan pour baigner, mathématiques, et même ça nous fait que parler là de aviation. Donc nous on a parlé de premier vol qui était fait, Leonardo da Vinci, right? But il y a un Morgio qui était déjà commencé à travailler ça là bien avant ça. Donc bagay yo belle. Donc nous mêmes moun noir gon paquet de travail que nous fait, c'est nous mêmes qui établit civilisation. Donc ça faut que nous clair sous lui. prendre c'est pas de blanc qui te porter civilisation bah nous donc travail ça yo donc nous t'a fait yo depuis bien longtemps nous te gain empire nous great empire nous qui était établi pour éduquer pour qu'ils font pas que travail dans le monde là africain t'es vraiment bien éduqué donc c'est pas de gens européens qui te viennent éduquer ou qui te viennent porter qui te viennent sauver la vie pas il faut comprendre que son faveur que t'as fait nous les autres rentrer kidnapper nous porter nous à faire notre travail comme esclaves donc bagay ça faut que suspend allez ça let's take a little musical break and then we're gonna come right back. I want to thank you so much for this information about the Moors. Any last thing you want to say about the Moors?
No.
Okay, well, listen, I always invite my audience to contribute. Those of you who are listening, those of you who are watching on Facebook, who are listening live on Radio Creole, I also invite you to give your input, to give a phone call to tell me, okay, I am watching the show, I like the show, and because we are here every Friday from 6 to 8. Once again, our phone number here is 516-203-7162. 516-203-7162. There's another phone, 516-203-7333. When you call, please tell us, okay, we've been watching the show. This is what we like. Give us your input. When we're talking, we are not talking to tell you that we know everything. We want to know your contribution. We want to have your contribution. We want to know what is it you know. What is it that you know today that you didn't know before? Because we want to know that whatever we bring to you every Friday is helping you or helping your children. And by the way, the show that we offer you every Friday is not only for adults, it's also for kids, because that's why I bring my daughter on the show, because I want everyone to know that if something is good enough for the mother and the father, it should be good enough for the child. So whatever that I'm doing positive in the community, I also involve my daughter. I only have one. Okay, so I also involve my daughter in it because I want her to understand that, listen, if it's good for me, then it's good for her too. Okay? And also I want to plant a seed in the community. In our culture, we do not support each other. We do not support each other in this culture, in African culture, and we do not trust each other. And I think one of the reasons why this happened is because we of the education that was given to us. And that's why I want my daughter to be with me and understand what is it that I'm fighting for, what is it that I'm doing, and the work that I'm doing in the community, because this cycle that we have of mistrust, because when it's come to trusting the European, trusting the Caucasian, we do, but when it's come to trust our brothers and sisters, we don't. Okay, so we have to change this custom. There are certain things that were taught to us, that was put into us, that was that they gave us. They're not necessarily true. Sometimes they make us think that we African brothers and sisters, we hated each other since the beginning of time. Haitian people say, "Depuis na Guinée, ti negra ineg." Those things are things that were put into our head to make us hate each other, to make us fear each other. But I want you to understand that during slavery, you have to understand, we were divided. We were not able to even keep our names. We were not able to sing our song. We were not able to practice our religion. Donc, si on ne peut pas pratiquer religion, ou pas kembe non, ou pas jouer musique, donc qui gens que vous pral faire ça que vous gagnez confiance, qui gens que vous pral respecter ça que vous gagnez, non pas respecter et frère et sœur tout, ou pas priver respecter frère et sœur, allez voir pour t'arriver faire confiance. Donc that's what we are talking about. So that's why we bring topic like the Moors. We're talking about the Moors, their contribution to the world, so that you know that African people, we've been there, done that. We have contributed greatness to this world. No, those things were not brought to us. No, we brought those things to the world, to Europe. We educated, the education, architecture, architecture, civilization we brought to the world. They were not brought to us. Our history did not start with slavery. It started way before slavery. Way before slavery. Alisa, when you in school, what did they tell you? What did they teach you in school about your people? Did you get the idea that you're as an African girl that you are well respected and then your people have contributed greatness? Because this information that you just brought to us here, this research about the Moors that you just brought to us here, did you get that from college or did you get that from elementary school?
Oh, most definitely not elementary school.
Okay.
Elementary
okay.
school, they teach you George Washington Carver made peanut, not
Okay.
made peanut,
Okay.
discovered peanut.
Mm-hmm.
And every February they have a Black History Month thing where they only be talking about Martin Luther King and
Okay.
Rosa Parks and
Okay.
they talk about slavery, of course,
Well, Alyssa,
but they
it's-
don't give you all of the historical facts you need to
That's correct.
know. And it's not. It's. I don't think it's most of these teachers' fault because my elementary school was really diverse. But I don't think it was their fault. I just think that the material that was being distributed
that they,
distributed among the schools at that time was watered down.
Well, what happened also is like in school, when you're a school teacher, sometimes they give you the books, they give you the information that you have to pass on. And one of the things that some of these teachers may not, they may feel like they have to teach exactly like a roadmap, exactly what they tell them to teach. And there are times when our teachers want to go on further. Like, for example, I teach dance. In school at PS 189, I teach dance. But I also make it my business. I give my students research to do about the Moors. I give them research to do about Black Power movement. Because as an African person living on this planet, you have to know where you've been, what you've done. Because too many of our brothers and sisters are left into gang violence. Where a pile nan frère nou yo, ti moun nou yo lage nan gang, yo lage nan vie bagay, yo lage nan tout sa ki pa bon. Donc, qui veut dire que nous peuple nou an, nation nou an, tant kou perdu. Donc, regardez ça qui a passé dans pays nou Haïti. Peut-être si frère nous yo nous te éduqué yo sous bagay ça on a parlé a fait yo connaît que qui ça qui mange yo c'est pas simplement kembe on zam nan mais en bataille ou bien bataille pour le dégoût, bataille pour l'argent mais si yo te connaît vraiment histoire yo si yo te connaît vraiment histoire yo qui côté yo sorti qui travail que yo te fait dans l'humanité ancêtres yo te contribué dans l'humanité, peut-être yo pas apprendre zam pour kidnapper frère ak sœur yo, tuer frère ak sœur yo pour l'argent. So pensez à ça.
Well, that's all well and good, but I think the subject that you bringing up is way deeper than people not knowing where they came from.
Okay.
It's nice to know where you came from and everything, but if you wake up and you don't have any food and you don't have anywhere to live, if somebody tells you, okay, I'm gonna give you food for a month or a week if you go out and you sell some drugs or if you kill somebody and you don't have any access to any job and no food in your house, but of course you know that you're part of you have ancestors and all that, but what's that gonna get you because you can't even survive, you can't even live. So that's part of the problem when you talk about all of these people in Haiti killing people and all that. You can't tell people who can't even take care of themselves, who can't even eat a meal a day, that you have to know where you come from, you have to know. They're not worried about that at the moment.
They couldn't care less, right?
Yeah, you working on a empty stomach for like a month and then somebody's telling you, do you know where you came from? I don't care, I'm hungry. So it's like, yeah, so it's like that topic, I think I agree with you, but it's a whole bunch of things we have to take into consideration when it comes to that.
Okay, well, Alyssa, listen, I don't want to have this discussion here, Alyssa, with you by yourself. I want to, like I said, I always invite the public to people listening to share what you think. Is education enough? Is education enough? Because what I'm trying to tell Alyssa is, if we had proper education, if we were educated enough to understand who we are, where we've been, and our plan, educated enough to be able to create things, jobs in our own country, to invest, for example, our brothers. When I was growing up, Alyssa, my father used to taught me how to plant. Nous te kon planter pois, nous te kon planter maïs, nous te kon planter pitimi. Et l'aime te kon planter bagay sa yo, nous récolter yo, nous vendre yo, c'est comme ça nous te kon joindre moyen pour manger. So si nous comprenons l'importance de investir dans terre, faire terre travail peut-être, et gouvernement te supporter nous tout, gon raison qui fait gouvernement haïtien pas supporter haïtien, Alyssa. On prend gon raison d'être, peuple nous le regarder dans l'histoire, li gon côté le sorti. Of course, si nous aller pile loin nous faire étudier, n'a ouais qui pied sous nous, parce que vraiment gon pied sous nous peuple haïtien qui fait que peuple nous a passé misère, gens l'a passé misère. Mais en même temps tout, moi penser que avec éducation, si que au ban mon âme, parce que imaginez, un monde qui fin faire retour, fin faire philo, il est vraiment là collège là prendre une profession. Moun ça let's say pas ka jeune travail. OK? Songez ça me doit aller ça. Moun nan fait retour philo, aller dans collège là prendre une profession. Là fin faire apprendre profession, il pas ka jeune travail. Quand y a là un businessman yo là, yo besoin faire affaire, yo fait magouille, yo bay mission zam, yo déclarer le pral chef gang. Est-ce que vous pensez moun ça la facile pour lui pour prendre ces décisions avec zam nan men pour tuer frère Axel pour l'argent?
Still it all comes down to survival, because when you in that situation that you just talked about,
right.
Okay, that person knows where he comes from, that person has a good head on his shoulders, he went to school, he has a plan for his life. If they tell him we're going to give you some drugs to sell, and you say no, okay, so you want to actually get a job that you study for and that you went to school for, but you look and it's people that are taking care of their own security and their own like survival in the country. It's going to be hard for you to tell people, you know, you have to be educated, you want to be, when everybody else around you is not thinking like that. Everybody else is worrying about, you know, the security of their family, because it's hard for you, only one person that's like, you know what, security is good, making sure your family can eat is good, but we also have to take care of our country because we come from this and this. But then if you have everybody else in the country that's worried about, you know, if I say something, then the life I guaranteed for me and my children is going to be at risk, and they're scared of that, you're going to be the only one shouting, we came from here, we came from there. Everybody's going to be looking at you differently, because everybody around you is worried about their security, their survival. The people that's in office are worried about their pocket, their personal gain. So you are stuck between a rock and a hard place, because you were the only one that's educated.
Alyssa, let's take
and
a
then
little.
what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? You go out in the street and you preaching, we need to know where we come from, we need to know how to do this. You trying to make moves for your community, and then you mysteriously end up dead.
Right.
And then things go on to the way they used to be, where everybody not caring.
Let's take a commercial break. I think our manager JJ here have information for me. Let's take a little commercial break. I will come right back.
Dans le pays ici, dans tout domaine, c'est expert qui fait la différence. Souvent, parler des différentes facettes des arts culinaires, sans gratter tête m'a dit, Yannick, the great chef out of Cooking and Baking School. Yannick design cook cuisine avec pâtisserie personnalisée, dépendamment de disponibilité intéressée. Si vous avez gradué, marié ou sinon vous avez fêté anniversaire, remettre toute bagaille dans Yannick, the great chef, et puis ou même à tout invité capable d'installer nous confortablement pour une expérience unique. Zamim, si vous avez l'idée prendre classe cuisine, pâtisserie, pâtisserie ou sinon ou besoin un professionnel dans les affaires catering, les seuls experts nous gagnent dans la communauté Yannick de Great Chef Art of Cooking and Baking School dans 516 581 27 17. Adresse là c'est 2281 Baylis Avenue Elmont ou songez téléphone non 516 581 27 17. Now you go make things happen.
Chérie, vous songez misaine de passer l'année dernière pour nous louer chaise pour parler, hein? M'en des amis voisins prêter chaise pour caser. Non bagage ça rien à moment qui caser sous côte nous songer. Et puis solution à tout près nous oui. Gigi and GD Chairs and Table Rental là dans 218-34 112 avenue Queens Village, téléphone 347 530 78 94. Yo loué belle chaise avec belle table pour mariage, baptême, graduation, communion, barbecue, etc. Yo bon pour toute occasion.
Même c'est tout yeah.
Non ma chère, yo easy going. Leslie de General Manager, c'est un monde qui gagne nommé, là pas commodé. Relais Gigi and GD Chairs and Table Rental, dans 347 530 78 94.
By the way, mettre comment c'est relais yo. Petite fois là, dis pas le fiancé.
What? Over my dead body. Alors qu'il est dans sa faire apparence, pas de tirance. C'est tout le monde qui sous surveillance à outrance. Pour qu'il me sexy en confiance. Max Barbershop lui-même, c'est dans salle spécialisée. C'est comme par magie. Dès pour rentrer dans Max Barbershop, ou garantie pour perdre au moins 10 ans sous la joue. C'est pas hier ni jeudi à monsieur Serap pour que chevet. Bon, où sont Joseph qui t'a habité dans le corner. Et bien, monsieur, t'as un problème forme. Mesdames, vous appelez des trucs, monsieur. Moi, dis, c'est pas rien, c'est comme tête, nous pas aimer. Alors, Max Barbershop, pour y régler cause. Nous devons en sortir quand sa femme commence à tomber sous monsieur. Bon, si rêve vous c'est une belle garçon même avec Guy André, eh bien numéro rêve ça, c'est 649 Hempstead Turnpike, Elmont, New York, Mark's Barbershop. Il est ouvert chaque jour, bon Dieu mettez, depuis 8h du matin jusqu'à 9h dans la soirée. Mon autre numéro encore, 516 776 5602 pour réservation. Si vous quittez mesdames, vous briller dans sous forme tête ou toujours, eh bien c'est pas faute, Mark's Barbershop. Mark's Barbershop, avant ma page.
New York City, m'attendez. À Paris.
Compère, nous en 2020 jusqu'à présent avons étudié acheter baleine. Ou pas de parler de MTS?
Mais oui, compère. M'pas gen choix que vous étudier acheter baleine parce que ça fait longtemps m'a dépensé comme acheter équipement énergie mettre la caille moi. Yo pas même qu'à faire 2 mois tellement yo pas bon. Go équipe bagay fake de m'pas vle prendre fake encore. En passant compère, qui ça qui MTS là?
MTS compère, mon technologie solaire, son compagnie qui la cap bay service depuis des années.
Qui type de service m'a jeune dans MTS comme ça compère?
Dans MTS compère, ou jeune panneau 300 watts, 370, 375, 395 watts, ou jeune batterie invertée pour cargo courant qui stable la caillou. Voisin ou le fâché, la caillou pour limer. Ou jeune éolienne, ou jeune ventilateur, ou jeune air conditionné, ou jeune toute camionnette ventilateur, ou jeune frigidaire électrique. Nous la bonne bail client nous bon service.
Ah bon, si c'est comme ça qu'on peut me sauver, bon numéro MTS qu'on est à la relais.
Compère ou même qui capa ici, relais Mémé Livingston Konya dans 33 28 32 66 ou bien 34 32 46 77. Sous République Dominicaine, relais ou dit Konya. Voici un petit courant pour faire en Haïti. Dans 809 739 92 29. Tendez bien oui compère. Sous République Dominicaine, relais ou dit 809 739 92 29. Sous Cap Haïtien, livraison gratis. Compère relais femmes, Zamo, by Facebook non MTS Pierre, YouTube non MTS Mondo Technologie à Solar, Instagram MTS Mondo Technologie à Solar avec MTS Blackout Kaba.
Qui compte moun yo bloqué sous système.
Nom, c'est Solange Félix. Depuis m'entrée New York, moi toujours branché sur Radio Créole.
Oui, bon, nous retournons, m'a présenté, excuse-moi, parce que nous t'es à fond de conversation avec manager nous, DJ. Donc, pendant la conversation à fait là, bagaille yo vin chaud dans nous, avec Alissa qui poton paquet. Allez ça entrer dans bagarre pour faut mon ka wow, c'est que nous papa. Pendant m'a vinn là, allez ça dit comme ça papa, me tellement habillé belle. Moi tellement belle jodi a là, vous comprenez? Faut que moun wèm. M'pas capable pour yo pas wèm parce que tête moi belle. Regardez belle rad moi, belle affaire moi. Bon, allez ça. Nan affaire babouquette là, m'pa ka ido a babouquette là parce que c'est nous toutes qui pour mettre babouquette. Hein? C'est nous toutes qui mettons babouquette là. C'est dans l'époque babouquette. Ou qu'on a une belle forme de yo, femme. Nan belle allez ça.
Oh no, they still talk to me when this is on.
Ça avait dit monsieur.
But I've been confused because they're like, hey, beautiful. And I was
beautiful? Like, qui côté ouais beautiful? Corps qui bien là qu'on a bien ça qui c'est
well, you know my energy.
Your energy. Merci papa. OK, merci. Oh boy, allez ça dit comme ça monsieur style a filé dans la rue toujours malgré le mettre babouquette dans bouche li. OK, malgré toute bagaille ça yo, monsieur style apprendre la vie.
You got it. Anyway, so like I was saying earlier, like even in this country, I think in this country is extremely different when you're talking about this country versus
you
the situation
can't compare this country
because
to Haiti,
because here, you know, if you can't get food, you know, you can hit up your food pantry. In the school they feed you.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for school unless you get to go to a private school, but you know it's much better down here. Like elementary school, they teach you the basics. They teach you Martin Luther King. They teach you Rosa Parks didn't get up off the seat in the bus. I remember I think I was in 7th or 8th grade with Miss Bola. Okay. And then we had this something for social studies, and I was so excited because it was on Frederick Douglass.
Okay.
And the assignment was to like write. It was two prompts. It was like the first prompt is to write a story about something, and the second prompt was to write a letter, as if you're Frederick Douglass.
Okay.
And then so I did the second prompt, and I was really excited. I even came with props. I went to my mom little closet, you know, black kids, you know, your mother got the cabinet with the wigs. So I made a little beard with it.
Okay.
And then I came to school, and then I read my letter, and then I remember Mr. Thompson was like, "Oh, this writing is beautiful," and all that. And then that was like one of the first times they had somebody from Black history that nobody really heard much about, because they teach you the basics. Every kid in elementary school, they teach you Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, sometimes Malcolm X.
Okay.
And then when you get up to high school, they start giving you these classes. U.S. history. I remember I had AP U.S. history.
Alisa, listen. I'm a teacher at PS 189. When my 7th graders come to me and my 8th graders come to me, I give them project to do about Africanism.
That's you.
I give them project to be about Black Power movement. I give them all kind of project to do.
That's you. You should petition.
You know what we did last time, Alisa?
Listen.
Yeah. What's going on?
You should petition in that school or ask if you could have a Africana studies class.
Africana study class,
and
right?
you could teach it. No, don't laugh. This is serious.
Yeah.
Listen,
do that. I understand it. I will love to do that, but you know what happened is, Alisa,
and they wouldn't have to spend any money because the same teacher, you're going to be teaching it. They don't got to call nobody else to come teach it.
Right.
You have your own material.
Right,
you can make copies of the material you have at home, give it to the kids.
Okay.
It's a whole bunch of kids that are clueless when it comes
they
to.
They need to know who they are, man.
So
it's like,
you should do that.
Yeah, I'll consider it, Alisa. Because listen, Alisa graduated from the same school that I was teaching at. So just listening to Alisa talking about what she got is extremely important. Because sometimes as teachers, you think that you've done everything that you can, and sometimes you do, but we never really listen to the stories of the kids. What is it that they really got? and
I
what
think
they're
it's
gonna do with it.
the same across the board. Elementary school, they give you this watered down because I guess they don't want to hurt your feelings or something when they talk about slavery and all that.
But there's so much to
But
teach,
then-
Alyssa. Actually, there was one subject in school that they don't really take serious, which is social study.
They take that serious. They do.
Yeah.
But they don't talk about the black side of social. They teach you about slavery.
Okay.
They teach you about some of the people, but they're teaching you who was in the Confederacy. What happened with George Washington when he did this? I don't care. And then when you have such a weird view on. I mean, that's if your parents are not don't care about that type of stuff.
Okay.
And even if they do, at that age, they don't really tell you this is what happened during slavery. It wasn't like during that time, elementary school, they give you a watered down idea of what slavery was. They teach you, okay, slavery happened between this and this time, and then this happened. They got whipped. But they don't teach you about the horrors of slavery. They don't teach you what happened after there was slavery. There were still slaves that didn't even know that slavery ended. They were still working until the 60s. They didn't tell you. Sometimes they don't tell you. I don't even think I learned about Nat Turner in elementary school.
No, because
because they're scared to give you that information at that age. But let me tell you, I got to high school and it was the students that I was around that started bringing up some stuff. I remember I had AP US history with Dr. Quinlan, and you were learning about presidents and all that, so we had a project to do on stuff like that. So there was this girl that came with Mafa, and then she was like, Mafa is the Black Holocaust.
Okay.
So I was like, I never heard anybody refer to slavery like that at all. And then I went and I researched it, and then I started finding all of this different stuff. I learned about whatchamacallit? Oh, Sartre, Sarah Bartman.
Sarah Bartman. Right.
And then I learned about Armistead. They actually turned the
Senke. By the way, Maury was asking me for a song about Senke. She said she heard me talking about Senke, and she wanted me to. I think she heard me singing a song about Senke. Yes, Senke basically turned that ship around. Amistad, yeah.
Whatchamacallit, Gaspar Yanga. They don't tell you about, they give you such a watered down idea of what Black history was, and then they give you once a year they give you that Black History Month thing, and then you have some people that go up and they talk about people you don't hear about a lot, but I think is once you get to college, it's like a whole new world when it comes to that type of stuff, because they have special classes designed for that.
Yeah.
And then like I always say, I was one of the most privileged, because when I got to college, I got one of the people that were at the forefront of Black history. She was there, Angeline Butler. And then, but she was always frustrated with the class, because people used to be on the phone during class, used to be talking. So she would get really irritated. She'd be like, I'm giving you information that you won't ever see anywhere else. And I'm giving you accounts that you're not going to hear anywhere else. And you guys are treating it like nothing. But this generation, there are people, there's two extreme sides when it comes to my generation. It's people that know the struggle, want to fight the struggle, and it's people that don't care.
Okay.
So I feel like when you go back to that subject about we have to educate them, we have to educate is one thing. Even in this country, when you say we have to educate kids on where they come from, that's one of the biggest parts. We have to do that. That's right. But when kids are growing up and they don't have anybody raising them but the environment but media,
that's another social issue, Alyssa.
And it falls into what we're talking about. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So when you have people And I feel like it's a whole bunch of things, like when you talk about music or like really hypersexual music. I remember I used to think this way. I used to be like, oh, why are people releasing this music when they got kids? But the celebrities are not raising your child for you. You are raising the child.
Right.
So if your child is listening to this music, okay, they listen to the music. But if their parents instilled in them some values and thinking about, you're not a nigga, you're not just a little nigga out there like everybody else. You're not just a consumer. You're not just somebody that's being taken advantage of by capitalists and everything like that. You are this person. You are this person. So you're gonna hear the song. You're gonna bop your head to it, and then you're gonna turn it off, and it's not gonna influence you in any type of way because you have people that are telling you, who you are and what's going on in the world. Like, it's nothing more sad than, you have a little black person growing up in the world and nobody's telling them, like, it's a hard lesson, but it's like, it's a hard lesson for a parent. Like, I always see those things when black boys are growing up, and then they have to have the talk with the black boys. Like, if you're going to drive, if you see police, make sure you quiet, make sure you're respectful, make sure you do all of that. It's a very hard lesson. I think a lot of people avoid because, they're scared and it's an emotional thing. But growing up not being self-aware and black in this country is very dangerous because the racism is everywhere. Racism is systemic. Racism is little microaggressions. Racism is everywhere. So if you don't teach your kids what it is from young, they are going to get their feelings hurt and they're going to fall into different mess very, very fast because they don't know who they are. Like, you have kids that are like, they're growing up and then, say you send your kids to a white school, or you just your kids are growing up with no type of idea of what's going on at all. And if you don't know what's against you in this country, you're gonna get attacked by everything. You're going to be subject to everything that's out here. Okay. Yeah, so, and I think everybody blames black kids for the way they are, being in gangs, being all of that. But there was a certain time where there was a ploy against the black family, period. So they were like, if we dismantled the black family, then these kids are going to have to look somewhere else for somewhere else. Yeah. So every day you're going to be out in the street and then you're going to have your bros from the block that are going to be like, okay, we make fast money doing this, we make fast money doing that. And you may be the best kid in the world, but you don't have anybody coaching you. You may have your mother, but your mother.
The father's who can crack, the mother's who can crack, so who's there?
Not even. Like, your father's trying to make a living, everything is against your father at that period of time. He can't get a good job. He can't get anything like that. So he starts making money, to support his family, making money somewhere else. He gets arrested. He gets put in jail. Now it's just your mother. If you're not the type of person that has grandma or auntie and everybody taking care of you, you have your mother. Your mother has to work. Your mother goes to work during the day. You go to school, you come home. You don't got nobody. You got to eat for yourself. Your mother teaches you, you got to take a bath, eat, do that. So you're going to be, networking with other people. You're going to see your bros on the block. You're going to be hanging out all day. And don't get me wrong, this doesn't happen with everybody. It doesn't. But it's certain situations where that happens. You blame people, oh, they're walking with, they sagging, or they selling drugs, but you looking at them from a privileged lens. Because these people, you don't know what they had to do to survive. And it always comes down to survival for black people. Like, you are, as a people, you grow, and we're like the most elastic people on this planet. Like, every little thing that happens to us, we find a way to adapt. So it's like slavery happened. They giving us these little scraps of food to eat. We adapt to that. We make our own. We make it a part of our own culture. We make soul food with it. You know, they exclude us from their neighborhoods. We gotta make our own neighborhood. You know what? All right, we make our own neighborhood. We make Black Wall Street. Since you don't want to let us shop with you, because we're scared of you. We just came from slavery. We trying to find a way to be comfortable. Black Wall Street, you shut that down. You kill a whole bunch of people. All right then. So we're not gonna take that much longer. We're going to make our own little group, and we're going to feed our community for free. We're going to patrol our community for free. We're going to do all of these things to protect ourselves for free. You shut it down. You infiltrate. You bomb. All right. Now we have our own. We make our own culture. We make hip hop. We doing all of this stuff. All of the stuff that's you know, we make our own culture. You know, we having the long acrylic nails, we having the big bamboo earrings, we having the, you know, the gold teeth, all of that. They call us ghetto, they call us street, every bad name, you know, that you could ever hear in the book. A year later, the same culture, the same trends that you had in your own community are being adorned on other people and are being celebrated. When you are the same one that created it. And the same people who disrespected you for adapting and creating your own culture are wearing it. And then what are you supposed to say? And then you have these other Black people that are supposed to be enlightened, and they're supposed to understand what's going on, and they're looking at stuff from a superficial point of view, and they're saying, oh, that's ghetto. No, you can't talk like this. You can't do this. As a Black man, you can't do this. You can't talk like this. You can't do. We adapt. We listen to that. We get hurt, but you know, we have trauma. We adapt. Right now, Black girls are like, you know what? We're gonna do our own thing with our hair. We're gonna embrace our hair. Ain't nobody doing perms no more. We're doing our thing. So it's like throughout the years, you have to look at Black people as being the most like, you know, we always are hit with adversity. We're always, you know, being destroyed. But we always find a way to come up, and we also find a way to adapt. And our culture is the cornerstone of everything around here. We make everything. We are the originators of everything. They might try to whitewash everything, you know, that we do, but we are the originators of everything. But you know, go back to education. You know, it's important for when you're in school. They need to fix that immediately. I don't know if there's a change happening. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from young, you need to teach your kids that, you know what, you are a part of people that actually make this country. So even if you're even if you're not even Black, you're a person of color. Your culture is going to be influencing this country some way or another. Okay. But let's get back to Black folks. You need to teach young people, elementary school and up, you need to start teaching them more than George Washington Carter made the peanut. He did not only make the peanut. Search him up if you don't know. But yeah, and as Black parents, we need to stop curbing the curiosity of our kids. And we also need to stop putting judgment on people in the community who are doing certain things you do not understand. So if you
Alyssa, let me ask you, what is it you think that has to be done so that our brothers and sisters doesn't have to just survive?
Man, listen. Hey,
because
this is very hard.
You know, I mean, this is it's tough. You know, it's tough because, like you said, our brothers in Haiti have to survive. Our brothers in the community here have to survive. You know, what do you think can be done so our brothers don't just survive? You know, Are we gonna leave this to our council members, to our government? What are we gonna leave this to?
Leave it to the government.
What do you think has to be done, Alice?
The government. I just feel this is why I'm glad, because there's a whole bunch of black owned businesses that are going on.
Yeah, there's a trend right now. Where
yes, I love
black
it.
Owned businesses. Yep.
I love it. Because when you own your own businesses, when you have black people buying from you, you're creating wealth within your own community. So I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think I think black people need to start buying land.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a hard one, because how are you gonna buy land without money?
Without money, people with money, I guess.
How are you gonna buy land when the real estate broker is biased against you? How are you gonna do that? So that's something that needs to happen, but I don't know how to get around that.
Right.
But I think it's important for us to have our own land, because there's no way people are going to be able to gentrify your neighborhood and kick you out if you own the plot of land.
Yeah, if you own the land.
You'll sue their boots off.
Bravo, Alicia. Bravo.
So
yeah. I like that.
So yeah, creating. Because whether you like it or not, our oppressors are always worried about the money. So if you create generational wealth, you make sure, okay, you make a way for yourself, you make a way for your community, and then when your kids come, they don't got to worry about all that. You start making generational wealth. You start making wealth in your own community. You start uplifting each other, not making fun of the person who is doing.
Right.
Yeah, some middle class black people are always doing that. They always, and I understand that a lot. But you need to know where it comes from. You know, you need to know where all that aggression and all of that violence comes from.
Alyssa, let's take a little break. Because we talk a whole lot.
I've been on my soapbox for.
We talk a whole lot. I want to give an opportunity to our audience to know that they can call in and they give their input. Let us know what you think about all this subject we're talking about. How do we uplift this black community, our country, especially Haiti? Those of you who are not Haitian, who are listening to me, how do we uplift? How do we solve this problem? Like Alyssa said, maybe we are great. I like what she just said about buying land, because if you own your own land, they cannot kick you out. They may have to buy it from you, and you may choose not to sell. Even though there is a law that says if the government is going to develop a certain neighborhood, they can force you to either sell.
But if you have multiple black business owners in the neighborhood that own that plot of land, then you all can go and file a complaint up to that and be like, no, we bought this land with our money, here's the papers. That's not about to happen. Unless this particular law the government and the plan the government has ulterior motives.
There's always a reason why they make those laws, Alyssa. And as you know, this country wasn't made with us in mind. So yes, so let's take a little musical break. And then we're gonna come back, because when we come back, I want to give you guys, those of you who's always suffering with headaches, those of you who always have pain in your head, as you know, those traditions that were left for us, they were left for us for a reason. And when we reject those traditions, that's one of the reasons why sometimes we suffer the consequences. So I want to give you guys something to do, those of you who always suffer from headache, and to solve your problems, because as you know, so this is agoci, and we're listening to the Talking Drum. Sitting next to me, Alyssa, my beautiful daughter, Alyssa Naomi Innocent. And I am agoci. I'm the director of agoci. So there's a lot of my brothers listening to me from Golgotha. Next à you, toujours besoin, ti parole mystique. God, exile mystic. They always want to hear knowledge, mystical knowledge, a lot of spirituality. So this is a show where it's a cultural show. So whenever I come on that show, I always want to give you a little something that you may not know. And if you did know it, then let me know. Okay, my brother, I got that one, but this is what I want to share with you. So that's how we want to do this. Okay, so every time I come here on Friday, I'm gonna share some knowledge with you. So last time we talked about the coconut, right? Moe was like, yo, so we'll take a musical break and then we're gonna come back with that little spiritual knowledge. Monsieur Golgotha really sa mazanza. Ouais.
On est oh la maison On est oh la maison si c'est grand monde qui l'a rentré. Si c'est grand monde qui l'a rentré. Si c'est petit monde qui l'a m'a viré d'omalé. Passage dans la coussa, si mon grand monde qui l'a, si allez pour yo.
Qui ça n'a fait pour pays? Qui ça n'a fait pour pays? Si nous pas préparer une case, faut l'obliger, mais code sous yo. Si nous pas préparer une case, faut l'obliger, mais code sous yo. Qui ça n'a fait pour pays? Qui ça n'a fait pour pays? Si nous pas préparer une case, faut l'obliger, mais code sous yo. Si nous pas préparer une case, faut l'obliger.
Yes, we are back and we are about to give that spiritual knowledge. Like I said, the brothers from Golgotha, they call this Mazanza. We don't call that Mazanza. Listen, today we were talking about the Moors and all of this knowledge, they were left to us, even though our library was burned, Alexandria. But some of this knowledge, the knowledge is still there. So here we go. So those of you who always have headaches, if you always have headache, tête fait mal, moun ki toujou soufri a tête fait mal. If you always have headache and you try every single way, you try massaging. So it's always good sometimes to try massaging those places, right? Those places like around here to help the blood circulate.
You massage here, the
right,
third
right.
eye.
You start
And then you massage here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go here.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. That's correct. Okay.
And then your toe,
mm-hmm.
your big toe is here.
Mm-hmm.
You massage right there,
mm-hmm.
and the inside.
Okay.
You can also massage here on the hand.
Okay.
So here.
C'est ça.
Here,
C'est ça.
here.
Okay. Yes. So those things they help you with circulation, right?
Those
so
are
let's say
acupressure points.
that's correct. Let's say you've tried all that and it doesn't work. You tried all that and doesn't work. So we Haitian people, we are very spiritual person. Remember, we are from the tribe of Levi, the spiritual leaders. We are, by the way, it's not just one Haitian. We all possess that. Pika nou kite a fe pasteur, a fe vin fe nou gang ou bien n'importe moun kap vin fò comprendre se yo même ki bon Dieu. Non va pas. C'est nous toutes qui appelés à être ça nous hier. Vous comprenez? C'est pas un affaire de pasteur ni un tel qui parle pas. Nous toutes faites à l'image de Dieu. Qui veut dire que connaissance là c'est pour nous toutes que lié. OK? So, moun qui toujours a souffrir avec tête fait mal, maux de tête, OK? Donc, esprit qui marchait avec tête fait mal là qui a bon tête fait mal là relé huit axes ou bien gon l'autre esprit encore c'est deux esprits relé huit axes Bassa Fayel. Ouais, Bassa Fayel c'est esprit qui le job li c'est emmerde ou foutu mal de tête. Oui, c'est mal de tête. So, sou ap souffri avec mal tête, if you having headaches, suffering with headaches, the spirit associated with that caused the headache is called Wuax. Wuax, R-U-A-X. and Basaphael. These are the two spirits that's associated and giving you headaches, that's giving you pain in your head. So now when you are having headache, and like I said, if you try a little massage, if it doesn't work, nothing work, then you say, Michael, put Wiax in jail, put Wiax in prison. Oh, nan nou même haïtien nous dit, Michael, jette Wiax en prison. Parce que esprit ça qui bail mot de tête là, qui bail mal tête là, il est Wiax. Ou bien on dit Gabriel, jette Basaphael en prison. Donc, qui veut dire que esprit ça yo qui bail tête fait mal là, on prend ou relé Gabriel ou relé Michael, nous connaissons Michael déjà, Michael pas jouer lui-même, on prend il pral mettre esprit ça dans prison. Okay, so listen, this is some of the spiritual knowledge we are sharing with you today on the Talking Drum, because like I said, the Talking Drum is a show about the beauty and majesty of African people, Haitian people, Jamaican people, Trinidadian people. Remember Bookman was a Jamaican, came to Haiti and then did a lot of greatness in that country. So we are one people. At the Talking Drum, we don't sit here and try to tell you that we Haitian are better than anybody else. And we Jamaican are better than no, there's no such thing. We are all beautiful. We are African people, and we have done great things. Like remember, I just told you, we just talked to you about the Moors. We just talked to you about African, the founder of civilization, the great empires that we built. We're not joking. We Yes, the founders of civilization. Remember, you have headaches that's giving you crazy after you try a little massage, after you try to massage certain points that Alyssa just showed you. Ask Gabriel to put Basaphael in jail. Ask Michael to put Wiax in jail, because those spirits are the spirits that are associated with headache, that cause the headache. Okay, so like I said, our phone number here is 516-203-7162. Give me a buzz. Let me know if you know a different one, because we know many, but I'm only giving you two. Yes. Nou grand moun nakala. Nou grand moun nakala. Ki jan nou ye, nap salue tout moun kap gade nou. Alisa, gon paket moun kap gade. Tade nou, kote zan moun la, Alisa, zan moun la va gade show anko. Zenzi, nous toujours saluer Zenzi toujours ap gade, n'a profité saluer Alex toujours ap tande show. We're gonna give a shout out to Maurice is always listening to our show. We're gonna give a shout out to all of our brothers from Galgata. We're gonna give a shout out to the agoci members. Give a shout out to every single one of you. Those of you who's listening for the first time, remember this show is every Friday from 6 to 8. Last week I spoke to my listeners, and I told them that it's extremely important that they call the show. That they call the radio station to let us know that you are listening. I also invited them to send me a text. I gave them my phone number, 347-600-6389. 347-600-6389, and I invited them to send me a text so I know that they are listening. Because you see, in the Haitian community, we've been programmed, we've been taught to not express ourselves. A lot of the time we love something, we want it, because I just spoke to JJ here, you know. He gave me a whole different perspective, and he said, brother Innocent, don't pay attention to our community, because our brothers and sisters, our communities, they are not accustomed to express themselves about what they like, what they don't like. It's extremely important that you voice your opinion. You let people know what you like, what you don't like. Because you see, when you don't do that, you're gonna end up with councilmen that are not working for you, politicians not working for you, presidents not working for you. But when you're accustomed to tell people, listen, you're not giving me what I want, you're not getting my vote. You're not giving me what I want, you're not getting my vote. All right? You are not investing in my community. The streets are broken. You're not getting my vote.
You remember when in front of the lodge there was a big hole?
Yeah, there was
that's correct. We called 911.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, all right, we coming. Never came.
Never came.
We called them again. Never came. We
Yes,
called the
yes,
council
yes.
lady. The council lady, did she call back? Because she didn't call back.
She didn't call back.
Ain't nobody called back. So, mind you, that could have been a really big, what you call that, danger hazard or health hazard?
I had to mobilize the entire community, make sure all the brothers called.
Like he was a crossing guard. It was this big hole. Everybody's driving past. You don't know what type of person could fall. The car could have thing in that hole and then
cause problems.
Problems.
Yeah.
But you know, nobody picked up.
Yeah.
So that shows, you know, sometimes.
But
this is
Alyssa, they
unresponsive.
cannot do that in all the communities. They choose the community to do that too. You know what I mean?
And why? Because that community is low income
Low
minority
That's
community. That's the demographic.
That's it.
So you already know. Don't nobody care about that area.
That's it.
But hey, it's a gentrification coming because I've been seeing. I've been seeing a really big change, and then once you start seeing that big police thing that they always put, I don't know what that's called, the police thing with the ladder, that's how you know they come.
Yes.
Gentrification is coming.
Alyssa, let's take a little break because I want people to know the greatness of Darren Semil.
It's my teacher.
Yeah, our teachers. Yes, we're gonna let you hear a little conversation we had with Darren Semil, one of the living legend in the community. We'll take a little break. Let's listen to it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with Darren Emil, as I promised. As you know, Darren Emil is an accomplished artist. He's producer, musician. This guy is a monster when it comes to the guitar, the piano. He plays many instruments and he has produced various artists. Nous chita là dans Parole Tambou avec Dan Semil comme moi te promettre nous semaine passée. Donc nous connaissons déjà que Dan Semil son taureau c'est une encyclopédie dans culture haïtienne. Frère Dan Semil travaille pour différents artistes, il produit différents artistes ou même qui gagnent ou t'a aimé apprendre musique, c'est Kai Dan Semil dans la communauté haïtienne. Depuis dit Dan Semil, tout le monde levé géo pour regarder, pour entendre, parce que Dan Semil, si nous tendez Yannick Etienne, si nous tendez un pile l'autre artiste, Dan Semil travaille très prolifique dans la culture haïtienne, dans la communauté haïtienne. Dan Semil, I would like to welcome you to the Talking Drum.
Merci beaucoup. Bon, bien content là, ou vin là, ou bon chance pour moi dire bonjour à tout le monde ça parce que nous avons quelques temps, même pas de chance ça. So, bonne année de toute façon parce que nous c'était le commencement année, on a souhaité que tout le monde gagne pile santé. Parce que devant une santé, tout reste à venir naturellement. Et puis comme richesse, la paix d'esprit. Okay.
Alors, Dan Semil, and in the Talking Drum, we speak both languages. We speak English when we also speak Creole, because we have a great amount of listeners listen to us in English. And nous connaissons déjà nous Haïtiens nous Haïtiens nous attendez nous et prend plaisir dans culture pays. Donc, m'ta remè pour dire moun yo qui est-ce qui Dan Semil? Parce que nous tendez en pile parole parler de Dan Semil. Donc je dis à nous gen bagay là dans propre bouche nous. Who is Dan Semil?
Bon, Dan Semil c'est petit Denis Emile, professeur, peintre, comptable, qui était marié avec Idami Dessé, la sœur de monsieur Jean Dessé. Maman c'était éducateur, papa c'était éducateur, so nous levé nous plus ou moins côté éducation, c'est une chance pour nous. Éducation était très important pour nous. Bon, ça qui est important c'est que malgré qu'il y a une difficulté dans la réalité Haïti, pour l'homme fait choix pour musique ou sinon pour art en général, papa, à cause de niveau éducation, il a trouvé que nous doit faire ça que nous aimons. Parce qu'il dit, monde heureux, c'est là où fait ça. Bon, même de choisir musique, Parce que science musicale, c'est un bagage qui impressionne depuis petit. Je suis capable de dire que je suis allé dans première fois dans bicentenaire dans le jet d'eau. Moi fait toute soirée à chercher ouais côté son ça a sorti. Bah ça c'est tellement émerveillé. Donc depuis là ça me capable de dire que moi même musique.
So, il y a une musique qui t'a joué dans le jeu d'eau.
Bon ça on connaît dans jet d'eau c'était l'eau à cap pomper c'est à partir de son musique là. Mais comme si moun merveillé.
Alors, dans la période temps ça, qui période était c'est sous Divalier ou bien sous Papa Doc ou bien sous Baby
généralement génération pas contre l'autre gouvernement d'ailleurs. Le non conscient c'est François Duvalier. Parce que pas très jeune, pas trop vieux, pas trop jeune non plus.
Qui l'a quitté Haïti même, Dance?
Bon, je quitté Haïti le 29 septembre 1974. Je quitté Haïti et pour me venir aux États-Unis. Avant ça, je suis dans Porto Rico. Je suis 21 ans de Porto Rico. 2 ans ou 3 ans après, je suis rentré aux États-Unis. Depuis là, je suis retourné en Haïti.
Qui sont qu'a dit nous en termes de musique dans la période côté Haïti parce que là nous regardons musique haïtienne nous ouais vraiment un changement par exemple dernièrement on parlait avec audience là de Foula m'ba autant de Foula qu'on y a même dans une période de temps m'a regarder travail Foula t'a fait m'a regarder qu'on y a côté musique qu'on y a tant que nous tourner derrière qui sont qu'a dit nous dans période pour là l'autre Haïti qui sont qu'a dit nous de monde musique là dans période ça
bon bagage peut-être qui a bon il est difficile pour moi pour accepter ça non moins bah m'a pas obligé de dire comme vérité je suis tellement intéressé à la science musicale lui-même je pas réellement une chance pour me trop intéressé à la musique ça ou les musiques haïtiennes en Haïti. OK so à l'époque juste parce que moi-même j'ai cherché n'est plus attendre des musique étrangère. On entendait en pile musique classique, en pile jazz. Parce que ça, comme on dit, c'est l'éducation musicale qui t'intéresse. Parce que bon, on pas jamais intéressé à danser, à faire bail comme ça. Mais autour de nous, tu as tout bagaille, les fantaisies, les chleux, tout bon bagaille ça qui t'a fait. Comme nous, on pas réellement prêter trop attention avec l'activité ça. Pas avant que moi rentré aux États-Unis en 1976, l'homme habité Los Angeles, l'homme retourné ici, c'est là que ça me prend premier contact ensemble avec musique haïtienne beaucoup plus directement parce que le monsieur Loubert Chancy et Tifré qui était joué dans ce cachet John Toussaint. Et vin côté personnellement pour me aider sauf c'est là ça me prend contact plus direct avec musique haïtienne et décision que me prend sont décisions qui basées sur orgueil haïtien moi parce que les gens me connaissent que musique haïtienne t'as un problème dans l'autre pays me décidé que me pas accepter moun toucher haïtien pareillement.
Ça vous voulez dire pas problème dans l'autre pays, vous voulez pas une petite explication sur ça?
Bon, d'après ça, on a expliqué que vous avez essayé de camper musique là, qui t'a évolué soit dans Martinique ou dans Guadeloupe, vous avez essayé de camper, comme si musique n'a pas de bon assez. Bon, moi-même, au haïtien, même, jusqu'où n'y a toujours comme ça, je ne vais pas changer, je ne pas accepter mon douche haïtien. Je n'ai pas besoin qu'on ait mon goye. Depuis c'est une possibilité pour lier le ça que me monter le film fait des bagages que pas même connaître comme des capable faire.
Alors c'est comme ça que vous commencez dans contribution ou dans aider communauté haïtienne.
Yes, moi fait ça me me faire ni pas aucun regret jusqu'au n'y a non plus et me fait ça me faire.
Okay. Like I promised, Dance Emile have made a lot of contribution to the Haitian community. You just heard that he has worked with Skasha. He has worked with different artists. Parlez-nous de l'autre contribution qu'on fait en termes de capable dire plus gros contribution. Alors, son artiste ou pas vle dire plus gros plus petit, toute contribution c'est contribution. All right? But ou capable dire nous some of the great things so we can go and search for them so we can enjoy the greatness of you.
Well, comme on dit là qui fait sens pour moi net. Pas réellement j'en prends temps pour me juger en grandeur, en grosseur, quel que ça me fait. Parce que un seul bagage me capable dire que peut-être nous avons un problème jusqu'à nos jours. Nous toujours chercher l'autre ça me va le faire pour le plus bon que ça me défend avant.
C'est ça.
Cela signifie que on dirait que je suis satisfait. Parce que comme on dit nos passions, moi c'est science musicale même, c'est pas réellement je pas jamais été resté à ça où les stardom comme si on prend un gros bagage tout bah ça va jamais intéresser. C'est science là qui intéresse moi. So nous toujours chercher un moyen pour quelque chose ça me fait hier, ça me fait aujourd'hui beaucoup plus intéressant que ça que tu fait avant.
Alors, Dance, honnête avec moi, l'autre temps dans fond bois, pas dire comme ça après ça, au fin de temps des musiques, ça va pas font petit souris.
Bon. Oui, dans fond bois, ça qui fait t'intéresser dans fond bois. L'homme réalise que dans fond bois, ces compositions, il y a un plus grand guitariste qui passait sous la tête, son haïtien que le qui est les Franz Casseus. Son composition, monsieur, moi-même, bon, monsieur fait tout le travail de composition dans une école classique. Moi-même, qui viens plus d'expérience dans jazz, c'est ça que je choisis de faire, moi faire une interprétation de jazz avec musique là, en honneur de monsieur Sarr. OK? So, bon, moi, plus ou moins satisfait que m'arrive font un bagage qui très haïtien, mais qui accepté dans le monde de jazz. So, c'est votre contribution ça qui intéresse. So, en tout cas, c'est travail un génie haïtien que moi juste mettais à un autre niveau. Bon, plus ou moins satisfait. Il y a beaucoup plus de bagages qui fini qu'on y a parce que finalement, dans l'âge moyen qu'on y a, parce que, comme on dit, ça fait un pile temps, on fait un dalle travail pour le monde. Mais, bonjour. Il y a un jeune étudiant qui dit mon bagage, qui va mon leçon. Monsieur son qui peut-être 19, qui parle 20 ans. Monsieur va mon leçon, que je ne vais jamais oublier. Monsieur dit, monsieur Émile, où te mettre, te prends le monde au bail, société. Tant que vous ne faites rien pour tête, vous ne pouvez jamais faire rien. Mon cher, un petit monde ça, bon réfléchir pendant 2 ans. Et bon, moi j'ai près de 1 an que je travaille sur l'album, pas personnellement, parce que je ne peux pas jamais faire peut-être même faire. Je ne peux pas compter qui ça me fait pour moi. OK? Que c'est haïtien, que c'est étranger, tout le monde c'est le bail comme ça. Mais réellement, finalement, c'est qu'on y a moi-même album pas m'bral de yo. Bon, c'est musique de jazz que moi joué. Bon, qui mélangeait avec tout élément culturel, mais c'est peine pays, you know, parce que vu c'est musique que moi-même moi joué pour le représenter tout nous-mêmes haïtiens dans le niveau international. M'pas mes limites.
Bon, nous-mêmes qui habitués avec, ou qui pas habitués avec travail Dance Emile, nous t'aimons pour aller dans Internet là. Donc, Dance, bah, nous des 3 petits titres que nous capables de charger. Parce que moi-même, c'est élève Dance Emile, moi, donc, les séparer en pile avec, donc, m'ta vle que même, même si ou que m'a jeune homme, t'as aimé participer pour tout le monde connaît qui est-ce qui Dance Emile qui travaille. Bah, nous des 3 petits titres que nous capables de chercher dans Internet là.
Premier travail que moi fait dans le milieu haïtien, c'était Skacha. Plaque ça a les plaque qui gagne maman là-dedans. Dans les années 76, plaque ça a sorti. Une plaque qui gagne comme bonne musique là-dedans. Et ça, c'est la première plaque que je fais dans le milieu haïtien. Après ça, je fais monsieur Baka raconter ça. Après ça, je fais une plaque mystique. Bon, comme je me connais exactement ça qui passait avec Baïsa. Après ça, je travaille. Bon, l'essence cubano. C'est une plaque comme plus ou moins satisfait parce que c'est une plaque que j'ai commencé à produire, on l'autre production vient prendre, ils font l'autre pour avec. C'est une travail comme plus ou moins satisfait de lui-même. Gen plaque gen bagay moi fait pour système band bon comme d'habitude là gen plaque qui sorti sous nom Gary Résil Mais c'est travail pas mettre lié tout. Oh,
Travaille avec Yannick Etienne, donc.
bon, Yannick Etienne lui-même, bon, c'est un style familial que le dit, là, ça, c'est promotion purement familiale que moi t'ai fait. C'est, avec, bon, on travaille avec un bon monde, pas bien là-dedans. Bon, comme on dit, ça qui toujours intéressé, c'est le travail, c'est pas fame, c'est pas rien du tout, du tout, du tout, du tout. So, là, on a allé, par exemple, nous-mêmes, nous avons le découvrir, nous associé avec tout un de l'autre travail, si on allait sur Internet là. Mais moi-même, personnellement, bon, je suis plus intéressé à continuer le travail, je ne vais pas regarder derrière, ni me pas sentir comme si je suis gros bagaille.
You're very humble, you're very humble.
Je juste connais que tant qu'on homme existait, quand papa me dit, quel que soit ça, bon Dieu, bah, si vous ne pouvez pas mettre au service de l'entourage ou du moins au service de l'humanité, vous ne pouvez pas gagner.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our interview with Dan Semil, arranger, musician, producer. He teacher, music teacher. This guy is a legend. He's a living legend. By the way, if you want to listen to the entire interview with Dan Semil, you can go on my Facebook account, agoci art, and you'll be able to hear the entire interview. Or you can go on Buzzsprout, BUZZ SPROUT, Buzzsprout, and /agoci, AGOCI. You're gonna see all of our shows, every shows that we have, that we do here. You'll be able to listen to them, listen at will. Okay, we have about 7 minutes left. I want to use this opportunity, this little time we have left, to first of all thank Alyssa Naomi Innocent, who's been very loyal to the Talking Drum. And she always brings some beautiful subject, beautiful things to help the community. What happened is, like, I remember ever since Alyssa was young, I was a baby, I used to, read to her, and then after when we finished reading, when she was able to talk, we will talk about the books. We will have a movie night where we watch a movie and we discuss the movie. And I think that's one of the reasons why now she has a love for learning. She has a love for knowledge and information. So I do encourage you. What I do on the Talking Drum is that I model for you the way that I think. As a school teacher, I don't just give you a lecture on how to raise a child, right, Alyssa? But I model for you. Whatever that I'm doing, I include my daughter in it, and that's how you do it. If you want to know how to guide your child toward positivity, then involve her in the positive things that you are doing. Do not just let this entire idea of telling the child, "Oh, that's not your place. Oh, go watch TV somewhere." That stuff is dead, man. It's dead, done already. Do not raise a child like that. You want your child to do well. You want your child to succeed. Nou vle ti moun nou yo pou yo fè bon bagay, le fini nou pa vle share, nou pa vle communiquer avec yo. Nou just le nap gade télévision, nou voyo al chita an l'autre côté. Yo ti moun nan pa jem participer nan so ap fè, le fini nou vle pou ti moun nan pote succès, ou vle pou ti moun nan pran kon kou zami. A friendship is developed. A friendship is developed.
And it happens with the balance too.
What do you mean by that?
Because you don't want to be that parent that's like, "What are you doing? Come here. Let me see that. Where you going? Wait a minute." That is too much. And you don't want the parent that doesn't call you, doesn't text you all day. You come from school, they not home. They don't ask you how your day went. They don't ask you what you ate. Like, it's important for you to have a balance. Like it's important for you to have a parent that's your parent and that's also your friend. A lot of parents are like, "I'm not your friend, I'm not your sister, I'm your mother." Yeah, no. No, because what's gonna happen when it's your child's turn to be an adult? then they're not gonna want anything to do with you because you're not their friend, right? They're your mother. They're gonna call you for your motherly duties, you know. So
and there's a time when that's done.
Yeah.
And when that time is done, it's like they don't need you anymore.
And if you're not a family that likes to keep in touch and go family reunion and dinner and all that, you barely gonna see that person. Sorry, but if you have a balance with your child, if you have a friendship with your child, then
that lasts a long time.
Yeah,
that's forever,
it's gonna last
forever.
a long time.
Alisa, I cannot open another discussion. We're gonna have to have a topic. Please pick it up for me. Yes, please. Hello. Did you?
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon or good evening. Sorry, you are listening to the Talking Drum.
So I just want to tell you that you guys had a really good subject today.
Thank you so much, Maurice. Thanks for calling.
The importance of teaching Black history to our children, especially the young ones, because it's so important for them to know their history and the different contributions that Africans, have made to make this country or this world a great place. And, so that's important. And that's a very good subject. I'm glad you covered it today.
Thank you so much, Maria. And Alicia gave me a challenge. She actually told me that I should teach Black history in my elementary school, and I'll propose it to my principal. We'll see what she says.
Definitely, it should be definitely done. Definitely.
Thank you so much, Maria.
Have a great night.
By the way, Maria, I appreciate all the work that you are doing and the GoFundMe to help people to support and get people to donate. Appreciate it.
You're most welcome.
Yes. Thank you so much. Marie is one of our biggest supporters. She at agoci. She not only, she's a member. And I want to thank Marie for everything she does. By the way, not just Marie, her entire family. Alana Design, Alana Virtue Design, the video. Yeah, Alana. Alana is one of our inspiring dancer, musician at agoci. And also Colin. Colin is driving Marie all over the place. So thank you so much, Colin. I love your family. I support. I appreciate your support. I remember we were having a barbecue. Colin was the one cooking for us. Thank you, Colin. Listen, we have 1 minute left. I want to let the community know that it's not too late to support agoci, to support our GoFundMe. Yes, go on agoci art and you will see the GoFundMe and donate $20. It's to support our scholarship program. It's every year, like I said, we give 10 scholarship, and this year we were not able to do the performance to raise the money, so we're doing the GoFundMe. So please, we are at 3,000 right now. We already raised 3,000. We want to raise 10,000. 10,000 like 1,000 for every kid. So we want to give 10 scholarships. So we have money for 3 kids now. We want to have 7 more. So please help us raise that money, so we don't have to tell any kids that we don't have the money for them. Once again, my phone number is 347-600-6389. 347-600-6389. Asiniko, thank you very much. It was a pleasure being with you.
C'est la station de ma vie. Tu es l'objet de mon sommeil, de ma journée tout entière.